Good morning, people, and welcome to the new episode of the Rambling Dad podcast. It's been a little while, but we're back. We're here today to talk about UFC 295, and then we're going to look ahead at Vegas 82 this weekend, Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig. So let's get stuck into it, folks. So how are we all doing? Like I said, it's been a little while. I mean, it's been probably 3 or 4 weeks. I've just had super duper busy time with work, childcare, all the rest of it. You know what I mean? But my daughter's away to nursery this morning. I've got my first back shift in a long time. So I've actually got a couple of hours where I can sit down and do this. I've got a coffee. I'm chilled out. We had a wicked fucking weekend of fights last weekend. You know what I mean? Every fucking fight was a first or second round finish. You can't obviously complain with that, can you? You know what I mean? And our boy Tom Aspinall got it done. So let's get stuck into it, folks. Let's head on over to that card and let's have a little look. Jump on over there now. Wicked. Right. So obviously UFC 295 Yuri Prochaska versus Alexa Pereira. Mate, performance of the night. Every single fight on the main card got performance of the night bonus. How incredible is that, right? So anyway, let's start. Let's get into it. You got Yuri Prochaska versus Alex Pereira. What was people's thoughts? How did you think the fight went? Thought it started off quite well, especially for Pereira. I thought Jerry was going to come in and shorten his stance a little bit, but he didn't. He started getting his legs chopped, and he noticed the power of Pereira's leg kicks straight away. You know what I mean? But they both kind of went back and forth for a little while. Obviously made it into the second round, where Pereira got the job done. But yeah, like Jerry was having some success. I thought it was going quite well for Jerry at one point. You know what I mean? He was landing some good overhands. He was backing Alex up against the cage. He was doing quite well with mixing up his shots, but Alex Pereira is just one powerful, powerful man. You know what I mean? Even though he was backed up against the cage, he was snapping in those leg kicks. Like I say, he can generate so much power, but from a short range. You know what I mean? He keeps in tight. He ducks in, bang, bang. Came in with that right, the left, dropped him down to the ground. Yuri tried to scramble and grab at his hips, but Alex came in with those mega, mega, mega elbows and absolutely fucking destroyed him with them. You know what I mean? Everyone's been a bit controversial about it. Was it an early finish? Did the ref stop it too early? Jerry didn't think so, so that should put it to bed for everybody, but a lot of people are still talking about it. So, but nah, I think personally, I think he was done. Like, you know, I mean, you've seen the left dropped him, he then went for the hips, and then he was getting the elbows, and then he kind of dropped to his back, ended up in full mount. Like, there was only a matter of seconds before it was going to get stopped anyway. So even if he let it carry on, it was just going to take some damage that he didn't need to take. And like I say, Jerry also said that he was done, and that was it. The ref had to stop it, and he's fine. He's okay with it. So job's done, folks. Let's stop with the controversy on that one. You know what I mean? Alex Pereira is now the light heavyweight champion, and that was like 1 day away from being a year to the day that he'd won the belt off of Izzy, the middleweight belt. Incredible, incredible performance, mate. Incredible career for him so far within the UFC. What's he had? 7 fights, and he's had 2 belts, 4 champions that he's fought, mate. Unbelievable. Unbloody believable. So yeah, what's next for Alex Pereira? What's next for Jerry Prochaska? Well, Jerry Prochaska needs to go back to the drawing board, have a little look and see what he can do and come back. Maybe 1 win, maybe 2 wins before he comes back and sees who he can fight. Jamal Hill is obviously wanting Alex Pereira because he's wanting to come back and get that belt. I saw Jamal Hill talking to Demetrius Johnson. He was saying that he hasn't fought anybody. It was actually funny because we're going to move on to this fight in a second, but he was kind of echoing what Tom Aspinall was saying about Sergey Pavlovich. He's saying Alex Pereira has never seen anybody like Jamal Hill. He's never seen his speed, and he feels like that's what's going to get it done. And he's also going to have to knock him out. He said he's not going to take it down to the ground. He's actually going to KO him on his feet. So I'm interested in that fight. I can't wait to see it. You had Jamal Hill at the side, sticking on his little crown. You know what I mean? He was still saying that he was the king. But it'd be interesting to see how he deals with Alex Pereira's leg kicks and how he deals with his power, because he has got stone hands. That's why he's called Poatan, folks. Anyway, let's move on to the man of the fucking hour. Tom Aspinall, Sergey Pavlovich. Tom Aspinall, 17 days notice, 5-day camp because he hurt his back after he came out and said that after the fight. So what a performance to get off the couch, into the cage, and knock out Sergey Pavlovich in a Sergey Pavlovich kind of way. You know what I mean? Sergey was on a 6-fight KO winning streak. Every man he has touched, he has swept. Tom Aspinall went in there, done well, stayed out of the range, started off with a calf kick straight out the bat. And then Sergey did land, you know what I mean? And he even said, oh, he knocked my mouth guard a little bit to the side, and he was wobbled just that little bit. He was like, oh, fuck it. You know what I mean? He felt it, and he was like, right, I need to cut the angle here, I need to circle out, and then I need to come back in and do whatever I can do. And he came back in with that lovely left body shot, right hook to the temple, and he went fucking down. And he jumped on top of him so fast and started laying in some heavy, heavy ground and pound. So, yeah, incredible performance with Tom. So what's next for Tom? I would personally, like, he's not going to sit out. We already know he said that. You know what I mean? Stipe Miocic and John Jones. Stipe's just going to retire, I think, and walk away. John Jones ain't coming back for 12 months. But if John Jones comes back to secure his legacy, I think he has to fight Tom. He can't walk away from this and just leave it as it's sitting and just still, like, go on that he's the best that there ever was and there ever will be. Like, you now need to fight Tom Aspinall. And I think Tom Aspinall is the man that could beat John Jones quite fucking handedly. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an easy fight for John like it was against Gan. Obviously, he went in there and just grappled Gan, took him down, choked him out. Gan didn't know what the fuck to do. Tom Aspinall's got a well-rounded game. He can stand and strike with you. He can take you down. He can also hold his own in a takedown. You know what I mean? He's got some incredible takedown defense. He's got submission skills. He's going to get back up to his feet and take it back to the striking. It's going to be an incredible fight, and it really does have to happen if John Jones wants to walk away as the super-duper legacy that he wants. But Sergey Pavlovich, mate, what's going to happen with him now? Maybe one more fight, two more fights. We're going to see these men fight again. Yeah, you know I mean, I believe this is now going to be the Tom Aspinall era. I know it's like an interim belt, which is kind of funky. Why didn't they make John Jones just vacate the belt and walk away and come back in the future once he's all healed up? Like I say, 12 months out. It's kind of holding up the division, even though they have done this interim fight. Because who are they going to give? I would like to see Tom go against Curtis Blades and get that one back. Obviously, that one finished with an injury, but I'd like to see him come back and see if he can get that fight back in there. Obviously, Sergey, there's a couple of names that would pop up that, I mean, he could go up against. Almeida's calling out. Sorry, who the hell was he calling out? Can't even remember now. Who was it? Doesn't matter. Almeida had a shit fight against fucking Derek Lewis the other week anyway. So, one or two more fights with Sergey Pavlovich. He could be back in there fighting Tom Aspinall, but he's not going to sit out for 12 months. He's going to stay active. They'll maybe look at getting him in one of the UK cards again next year. He's been on every single UK card pretty much over the last few years since COVID came back. So it'd be nice to see him travel around the world a little bit, build his fan base, and then bring it back to the UK as the champion. I mean, that's what I'd like to see him do. Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. Mate, these girls absolutely threw down. Like I say, every fight got performance of the night, but if there was a fight of the night on the main card, this was it. A lot of people like to hate on women's MMA, but Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern was an absolute banger. These girls were swinging. Mackenzie Dern just didn't look the same. She didn't look confident as usual. She was holding her head in the center line. She was holding her chin up in the air. Jessica Andrade, cool, calm, composed, picked her shots and was landing some heavy, heavy powers. You know what I mean? She's quite short. She's quite compacted. You know what I mean? She's in and boom, she unloads that shot, and it's unfucking believable when she lands. So hats off to Jessica Andrade for getting that finish, and what a finish it was. You know what I mean? She kept dropping her down. Mackenzie Dern kept getting back up, kept trying to give it back to her. Even when she was rocked at times, she was still swinging. So you've got to respect that. You know what I mean? She was in there to fight, but unfortunately, maybe the battle of the alimony got to her. Who knows? You know what I mean? But yeah, incredible fight for Jessica Andrade. Mackenzie Dern, unlucky, back to the drawing board, and she can come back in. But Andrade just sets the levels, doesn't he? So before that one, we had Matt Frivola and Benoit Saint Denis. Obviously, this never lasted too long, folks. You know what I mean? Like, Benoit Saint Denis got that finish. But to begin with, I thought it was quite competitive. They were going back and forth to, like, and you know what I mean? They were good in the clinch, they were good in the scramble, trying to get the takedown. I think he did end up getting the takedown, but Matt managed to get back to his feet. And then when he circled out, he got caught by that big stinking toe right on the side of the temple, and it just dropped him down. Benoit Saint Denis jumped on him, couple of ground and pound just to finish it off. And that was it, job done. Yeah, I mean, so unfortunate for Matt, steamroller for Frivola, but he'll be back. That's not a performance that you need to be doubting yourself on or feeling bad about. It was against an incredible opponent in Benoit Saint Denis, and mate, it was just one of those KOs. Yeah, I mean, as he circled out, he got caught. It was unlucky, but yeah, great fight. And I feel like it probably, if it made it out of that first round, it was only going to get better and better. These boys were just going to keep swinging and swinging and swinging at each other. This one was for the fans, and it was going to be incredible. But unfortunately, we never seen too much of it. Just a fucking minute and 31 seconds. But great for him. You know what I mean? So fight. I think the whole card all night was like 20 odd minutes. Not even. I can't even remember now, but it must have been about 20 something minutes, 21 minutes or something like that. I'm sure I've seen somebody put on Twitter. So if you actually go back and watch this main card now, and you skip all the bits in between it, all the promos, all the adverts, all the talking, all of it, you get through every single one of these fights like so fast. It is unreal. So to kick off the night, we had Diego Lopes versus Pat Sabatini. And I thought Pat Sabatini came out quite well to begin with. I mean, he was putting on Diego Lopes a little bit, managed to take him down, I believe. And then as he came along, Diego Lopez absolutely just fucking put that man into the shadow round. Just boom, done. Good night. But yeah, great. Diego Lopes is going to be a problem at featherweight. I'm looking forward to see how he comes along, you know what I mean, and who he's going to face next and where he's going to go within that division. Other shout outs on the night, obviously, I thought Usyk done really well against Costa. Lupe Godinez and Tabitha Ricci obviously got the split decision. That was a decent fight. Rebecca versus Roberts got the submission from Rebecca, which was awesome too in the first round. Fight of the night, Nazim Sadikov versus Borishev, mate. That was an absolute battle. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen that one on the prelims, folks, go back and watch that one. They kicked off the prelims, and it was incredible. See the little dance at the end where they were best mates. You can't knock that. Jared Gordon got a wicked first round KO too, and then obviously we had a few decisions there with Jamal Emmers also getting a KO to start the night against Dennis Bazookia. So yeah, great card from start to finish. Yeah, I mean, but massive shout out to my man, Tommy Aspinall, mate. Yeah, I mean, fucking proper buzzing for him. Third UK champion that we've ever had. Mike Bisping, Leon Edwards, and now Tom Aspinall. And he truly deserved that. Like I say, coming off the couch on short notice and getting the job done against arguably the scariest man in that division or within the promotion. Yeah, I mean, he's the heaviest hitter in that promotion right now. Ngannou's left easily. But yeah, mate, let's move on, folks. Let's get stuck into it. So this weekend, events, that's what I want. Let's go back to events. We have Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig coming up. And now I am in work in just over an hour. I also still need to get the dog out. So we're just going to have a quick run through this one. So as we say, Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig, ranked number 10th, ranked number 13th in the middleweight bout. Paul Craig on his way to top 10. And if DDP doesn't beat Sean Strickland and Paul Craig can get a couple more fights towards it, he could easily beat Sean Strickland. I believe even get him down. Well, Sean Strickland's got some grappling skills, but I think Paul Craig could get it done. It'd be quite interesting. But anyway, I want to see him get this done against Brendan Allen first, and then hopefully the UFC will bring a card back to the UK and back to Scotland next year. So let's have a little look across Brendan Allen. So he's on a 5-fight win streak at the moment, and he's got 5 wins by knockout. 13 wins by submission. Yeah, I mean, like, these boys are going to try and stand and bang, but ultimately I think it's going to go down to the floor and somebody's going to end up getting submitted. So let's just have a look at his opponents, who he's fought in his little streak. So Smiling Sam Alvey, Malkoun, Jocko, Muniz, who Paul Craig just beat in London in July, and then also Silva. Yeah, I mean, which is submission, decision, submission. So, like I say, it's going to start on the feet, but ultimately this fight is going to go down to the ground. Paul Craig, this is only his second fight at middleweight. He's on he's got 4 wins by knockout, 13 wins by submission, very similar to in both of these fighters, and 11 first-round finishes, and he is looking incredible. Like I say, he had that fight against Muniz for his first middleweight bout, and he beat him by KO, TKO. It was a bit touch and go at times. Like, Muniz seemed to have him in a triangle, and it seemed pretty fucking tight as well, but Paul Craig managed to get out of it, turned the tables around, dropped him, jumped on top of him, and just absolutely landed some heavy elbows, punches, everything he possibly could to get the job done and get him out of there, which was incredible to see live as well. And the crowd went absolutely sick. It was probably the fight that kicked off the night, to be honest with you. Before that, obviously, had a couple of losses. Ozedemir and Walker. Walker kind of walked through him, like, not to put a pun on it. But he did beat Krylov before that. He did beat Jamal Hill. I believe he broke his arm too. And he also beat Shogun Rua. So, mate, he's had an incredible career, and he's looking fantastic in the middleweight, the BearJew. You know what I mean? So, obviously, I'm backing my man, BearJew. There's no odds on that, strangely enough. There probably will be on another site, but I'm looking at the UFC site right now. So, before that one, co-main, we have Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. So, let's have a look. Michael Morales is on a 15-fight win streak, 11 wins by knockout, and 7 first-round finishes. This man is absolutely tearing shit up. You know what I mean? Welterweight division. Let's have a little scroll down. His first 3 fights in the UFC. Giles, Fujian, and Griffin. And it was KO, and then unanimous decision, obviously. And I think my dog's at the back door. Yes, he is. 1 second. Boom. When nature calls, as they say. You going out? You going? No? Just being a doofus. Just being a doofus. Boom. Sound. Right, back to it. Where were we? So, Michael Morales, yeah. So, Miles Morales, yeah, I mean, kind of looks like the actor out of Spider-Man 2, to be fair. The Celtic Kid, Jake Matthews, 6 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission, and 3 first-round finishes, for those that don't know him. He beat Flowers. He got beat by Samuelsberger, Semi the Jedi. And then he also beat Fiolo, who's also a pretty fucking handy opponent. You know what I mean? So he's done quite well for himself. He's had some career. He's come up against someone like Brady, you know what I mean? Sanchez, Meek. Like he's fought some of the good guys that are in the division anyway. So he's on his way. And that's going to be an absolute banger. Personally, you know what I mean? Michael Morales is going to get it done. It's a tough fight for either one of them, but Michael Morales is going to get this one done. So now we have got Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levitt. The Kid versus the twerker. Yeah, you know I mean, so is this man going to twerk on a child? He said he's not because he's going to be too young. Yeah, you know I mean, but we call him a child because he's got a baby face, but obviously he is a fully grown fucking adult fighting in the UFC. So Chase Hooper, the BJJ versus the BJJ. Again, I think they might even try and stand for a little bit. Chase the Dream Hooper, 4 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission, and 4 first-round finishes. This is in the lightweight division. If we have a little scroll on down, he beat Fiore. He got beat by Garcia. He beat Colares. So, yeah. And he did change weight class. What weight class was he at before? Because he wasn't always lightweight, was he? I'm not sure if he was below. I can't remember. Really can't remember. Sorry, folks. Jordan Levitt. Obviously, we know Jordan Levitt. 2 wins by knockout, 6 wins by submission, 5 first-round finishes. The gayest straight man in the UFC. And when I say this, I mean it with all respect. You know, I mean, he's just he's very camp and he's very much aware of it. But he's got a wife, he's got family. You know, I mean, he's got kids, he's got all the rest of it. But he is a very, very camp man, and he owns it. To be honest with you, I mean, he like I say, he knows it. But yeah, he beat Martinez. He got beat by Paddy the Baddy, who did twerk on him back. He beat Ogden. He beat Sales. Like, so it's a tough fight. I mean, he's got a pretty decent record of people that he's came up against, and it's going to be a tough fight at lightweight for Chase Hooper, who's obviously trying to make his way through the division. Like I say, he's just joined the lightweight division. Before that one, we've got Peyton Talbot against Nick Aguirre. I don't know how you want to say that. Oh, it's done the dodgy thing. What's that tattoo that Peyton's got all about? And Sadiq Youssef says because he's grayed out, he has no soul. Well, he's got a little black dot in the middle. So boom, let's have a look back. 6-fight win streak at the moment. 5 wins by knockout and 1 win by decision. But that's his UFC debut as he's coming in here. Where's he came from? Is it Dana White Contender Series or anything like that? I recognize the name, the Talbot, unless there's just been somebody else that's been a Talbot. That so pro 5 wins reported. No, yeah, Contender Series Season 7. Yeah, that's why I recognize him. Right, okay, bang. So if we go back over and have a look at his opponent, Big Nick. Let's have a look. Come on, hold up. There we go. Nick Slick Aguirre. Sorry, folks. 3 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, and 6 first-round finishes. I've got to scroll down. So he had 1 fight in the UFC, which he lost against Argueta. So obviously he's wanting to try and get into the winning column. So we've got a debutant versus somebody that lost his first fight. Should be a decent fight at bantamweight. You know what I mean? These boys are always fast. They're always swinging. But I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot on this one. And did I pick anybody for the Chase Hooper, Jordan Levitt? I'm going to go with Chase Hooper. Just young guns to get it done. That's what I'm saying. So we got Luana Pinheiro versus Amanda Ribas, mate. Number 9 versus number 10. We got 9-fight win streak for Luana. We got 2 wins by knockout and 5 wins by submission. Go back and have a look. She beat Marcos, she beat Hughes, and then she beat Waterson Gomez. Yeah, I mean the karate hottie. So she's been looking good so far. 3-fight win streak within the UFC. Amanda Ribas, we all know her. It's 2 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, and 4 first-round finishes. We'll go down and have a look at her recent fights. So obviously, Manara, she got beat by Arujo. I don't know what that fight was. Did Rebus win that one? Did Arujo win that one? I can't remember. And then obviously she got beat by Macy Barber. So she's on her way down a little bit. She's not been doing too well for a little while. A last fight there when coming against Jandiroba. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the younger and the hungrier Luana Pinheiro on this one. We got Johnny Parsons versus Uros Medic. Yeah, I mean, we've got the mullet versus the receding hairline. So the Sluggernaut 6-fight win streak at the moment, 7 wins by knockout and 2 wins by decision. Have a little scroll one down. Won his first fight against Danny Roberts in July in London, actually, by TKO, which is unfortunate for Danny Roberts. 7 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, and 6 first-round finishes for his opponent, Uros Medic. Let's have a little scroll down and see who he's been fighting up against. So he beat Semi the Jedi in July. Morales Ferrer versus Medic. He won that one. And obviously, Jowan Turner, he beat him too. And he also beat Cruz, you know what I mean? So the man is on an absolute tear at the minute. Why is it not saying that he's on a 4-fight win streak? Oh, wait, no, sorry. He got beat by Turner. That's why. So he's on a 2-fight win streak. Misread that one, folks. Apologies. So, yeah, if we have a look, I'm going to go with Parsons on this one. So that's the main card covered. Like I say, we'll just scroll one down, just doing this quickly. Just going to give somebody else a shout out on here. We have Mick Parkin versus Chao Machado, mate. Mick Parkin obviously trains with Tom Aspinall. He's had his first fight in the UFC in London as well. He won that, so I'm looking forward to seeing Mick get back in there and get the job done. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, from the start, we've got Charles Johnson versus Rafael Esteban. We've got Trey Ogden versus Nicholas Motta. We've got Lucy Pudilova versus Aline Perez. We've got Jekka Saragi versus Lucas Alexander. Mick, we've obviously just talked about. Cesar Almeida versus Christian Leroy Duncan. He just lost his last fight too, but this should be a banger as well, folks. So we have 6 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, 4 first-round finishes for this man. He beat Todorovic in his first fight and then got beat by Petrosian in his second. But he has got some power in his hands, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in this one, see if he can get it back in there. So, yeah, mate, what time's this all kicking off? So, in the UK, the prelims are starting at 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then we have a nice early main card, 10 p.m. So, let's bounce on back over to the other page. Wicked, right, so that's them 2 cards just about covered up. So Saturday night, I will be on the Fight Week show. We are doing a watch along. Me, Naz. I'm not sure if anybody else is joining, but we're going to be covering UFC Vegas 82, folks. So join us on YouTube, Twitch, fucking Facebook. Like, honestly, it gets streamed to every platform you could ever possibly want it to get fucking streamed to. So we've got you covered wherever you are and wherever you're going to be. Also, make sure that you check out my Instagram. Growing that page just slowly but surely. We're getting there. You know what I mean? Go and drop me a follow on here on YouTube if that's where you're listening to me. You can also find me on Spotify. You can also find me on the Bloody Good Show. You know what I mean? But shout out to the Fight Week show. Obviously, I do quite a lot of work with them. I've been doing more work with them than I've been doing on my own show at the moment. That's obviously just due to, like I say, my other commitments and responsibilities. But we're getting there, folks. I'm still lining up some interviews. Hopefully, I can get some more in the bag in the next month or so before the end of the year rolls out, because obviously Christmas is a very busy time for quite a lot of people in the line of work that I'm in. I mean, retail is getting super busy for me too. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed like a schoolboy, it's because I'm going to work after this. But make sure you also go and drop a follow and a subscription to Cage Scribe. You know what I mean? One of the boys, Jordan from funny enough, because obviously that's my name too. But one of the boys from the Fight Week show who works with them has just started his own podcast, his own YouTube channel and everything too. So make sure you go and drop my man, Cage Scribe, a follow. He has recently interviewed Dennis from Pong and also Joffrey Holton and another guy that I can't remember the name of. Sorry, bro. You know what I mean? But go and have a look at his interviews. Go and check him out. He's got some wicked stuff coming up. And obviously he's trying to get involved as much as he can. One other little thing that I've done, obviously we just had Octagon 48 a couple of weeks ago. They are talking about coming back to the UK next year, and I think they're coming back in January 27th for a Newcastle card. So I've applied for media credentials. So hopefully that can get approved, and I can get down there, get some interviews done as a media pass, media member, catch some of the fights, and take down some of my thoughts and film some content whilst I'm down there. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Anything else that's coming up? Not I can think of, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, folks. Let me know what you think of who Tom Aspinall's next opponents can be, where the heavyweight division is going to go from here, whether John Jones is going to come back. Do you think Arnold? Do you think Paul Craig can get it done against Brendan Allen? Mate, there's a lot of questions out there at the moment. Also, I'm trying to think of what other news came out. Renegade, Leon Edwards, Ian Gary. What do you think happened there? Paddy Pimblett obviously came out and said that he knocked him out in training. Leon came out and said, no, I didn't knock him out. You've then got Ian Gary saying, oh, by the way, there's some insecurities, so they kicked me out of the gym. Who's telling the truth here? What's the real story behind it? Let's get talking about it, folks. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, I've been your rambling dad, and I am now just rambling, so I'm going to cut this one off. And yeah, have a good weekend, folks. Enjoy the fights. Don't forget to catch us on the watch along. I'll post it up on my Twitter. I'll post it up on Instagram. It'll be on my story. It'll all be there. Links will be available. Jump on in, say hello, and come and watch some fights with us, seeing as we're nice and early for once. You know what I mean? But anyway, cheers, folks.
What's going on, people? Arnold Allen here. Make sure you subscribe to the Rambling Dad podcast. Keep up to date with all his MMA content, fight breakdowns, interviews, and all that stuff. Give him a follow, give him a subscription, and yeah, get over there.